out completely and have to fight for the 6th or 7th spot, I believe. I can't even remember at this point now. But we are going to get underway here. And this is the big one, Raven. Are they going to ban the Monty? Surely Guts cannot allow Cyclops to continue to do this.
Yeah, I feel like it's just got to be taken off. You're so right. Like, Guts have just really failed to counter it. They have. It's just absolutely demolished them. The only defense round they won on Chalet was when Anaton, for whatever reason, decided to play Buck instead. I just think it's so significant for them. There's probably a reason they're banning the Ying as well. I know Cyclops like to play some aggression around it, but I just think it's got to be not as bad as the Monty. But here it is, the Ying ban again.
Oh, wow. I personally, this will be a massive talking point at the end of the map. Either way, it's going to be a talking point. You ban the Ying, you leave Monty. You ban Monty, you leave the Ying. That's what Guz was prefacing on the desk, and it is a very tough decision to make. And so, in hindsight, with how detrimental the Monty has been to Guts' defense, it just seemed like the no-brainer. Valkyrie will once more see no play and see no evil as Cyclops find their final ban on defense.
Good pick for the Valkyrie. I mean, she's starting to make a very strong case for why Valkyrie should be banned on many maps. Honestly, just the extra info you can get from that is so good, especially for teams that can play as fluid as Cyclops, for example. They can really play off the back of that extra info. We saw even just like the Pulse in previous maps. The info they were getting off that was just damaging. They could frag off of that. So, I mean, it's still a good ban, but like you said, I just think this Ying ban or the fail to ban Monty, it might be a really big talking point.
Wait and see. Of course, we're not gonna know until the second half. That's the thing that's gonna be the most frustrating part of all, is we're not gonna see the effect of that ban until we get ladder in this matchup. So we are gonna be starting on that top floor defense here, as it is Cyclops who are starting on the defense. And look, all things considered, woeful defense on Coastline, but really tidied things up on Chalet. That was the big win condition for Xenox, was, they needed to show us more on their defense. They did so, and obviously in doing that, they gave themselves the best possible placing. And I would say a similar sentiment here, Raven. It is going to be about their defensive side.
Yeah, just quickly looking at some stats for Cafe from stage 1. It's the third highest defender winning map, in 64% of defense rounds being won. So yeah, look, if you can book in, I'm going to say it's pretty similar to Chalet. If you can book in a 4-2 half in your defense, that's probably the pass mark. 5-1 would be fantastic, and then obviously a 6-0 is just phenomenal. But I think that's what Cyclops are going to be aiming for, at least 4 rounds here. And conversely, if Guts can manage to pull out, I'd say 3 attacks on this half, incredible. They're going to be in such a good spot going into the second half.
And the thing is, it's not out of the realms, right? We say this all the time, is, a 4-2 half may be what the defense is looking for, but likewise, it only takes one small mistake after Guts having a good round or 2 on their attack for them to really pull this out 3-3, and it could give them everything that they're looking for there. Blackray at the moment, but how long will he sit at Cigar? That's so ambitious, and that's the smoke player going down too, Raven. So as far as I'm aware, no canisters used.
No, that's no canisters used. Big loss, honestly. Normally this is where you'd want the smoke playing, is where Anaton is. Not sure whether Blackray just got a little too excited, or whether maybe Cyclops are just trying to play it a little bit differently. You would like to be able to swing that corner with the shotgun, as well as potentially use the smoke babes to delay the push in through to Piano. But it is what it is. 90 seconds gone. They've got that smoke off the board. They can get a lot closer to taking this control, but I would start to say this is leaning towards a little slow from Guts on this attack.
Well, time not so much was of the essence in the previous half on their attack in Chalet. However, it certainly was in terms of roam clears. You know, they just continued to stall out, and now at the 2-minute mark, I really think we're seeing the same trends repeat themselves already.
Yeah, and also, I don't know, I'd say some mistakes or just little... There's just something a bit strange about Guts' attacks the last 2 maps. I think it's so... Anatan is sitting in such a clearable position in Cigar Lounge right now. But they're just really stalling out on this. And I can't believe I just looked at the clock. There's only 30 seconds, Manic. They've had no progress through Freezer or anything. This is going to be so tough for Guts to win.
Yeah, that being said, as long as they can find the effective trades, they may have an opportunity here. It's brought into the 1v1 in the blink of an eye, but Suzu, this has to be the round one. My goodness. For a second, thought Crazy may have done the unthinkable. A bait with a low clip. It may have been doable, but Suzu holds firm. And yeah, we do definitely need to be asking questions of Guts in that round in particular.
Yeah, and honestly, towards the end, even Cyclops, I cannot believe they got in a position where they were so close to losing that. They just had to be able to maintain some better control of the top floor. Anyway, it is what it is. Cyclops are going to take the opening defense round on Cafe. Guts, look, they got close. They're going to have a chance in these first couple rounds in particular to really gauge the way that Cyclops are going to be playing on Cafe. Already we can see they're happy to play aggressive. They're happy to play up in the face of the attack. And Gatorada is sticking his cap can.
We saw it played a couple of times from Gatorada in the first half of Chalet, twice in fact, and I don't think we ever heard the traps really going off, and I don't think we saw anyone really take any significant damage. Not that I was able to witness with my own eyes or ears, so, you know, at the very least, it ensures that Guts are going to have to be so cautious and so thorough on all of their entrance points. They're really not going to be afforded any room to move. So I do enjoy that. I always enjoy a cheeky little different operator lineup. And needless to say, Gatorada was pretty sharp in the first half of Chalet. Didn't really keep track of him in the second half, but certainly had an impact on their defense, or rather on their attack. My goodness, now I'm just tripping over my own words. Where did they start? Did they start on defense or attack last?
They started
on their defense. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm not going crazy then. Is that a smile? We have a smile? Yeah, hey. Black Grey. Put a smile on that dial, because we may still see you in a little while.
I'm reloading.
Wow. Okay then. Quiet 30 seconds to start off the round. Just waiting to hear if any of these traps the Cap can have laid down blow off in the distance. Very spread out. I was literally about to say, I can't believe Addington is just by himself in piano. It's a great shutout from Euro, because that certainly is a position that should be punished, and it has. There's another player up here. It is Gatorada on the cap can. Looks like he's going to start to slowly drop down, but what is important for Guts is that they keep this progress going. If you're top-down clearing for kitchen cooking, you need to move quick. You really need to be giving yourself a lot of time to get the vertical presence and to start to put the pressure onto the players on site.
Certainly been the talking point so far is Guts' approach on their attacks. Crazy Papillon easily evades that cheeky little C4, and now trading a little bit of damage. In fact, Crazy doesn't get anything done, but JJ, well, he's the man of the hour right now, and certainly playing the larger impact. Really like this idea from Cyclops. They are going to retreat back to site, completely bunker in, and reinforce the only real avenue with a soft hatch. Okay. What? Oh, surely. Well. Anatan. Surely.
Oh. Swing and a miss. Guts. Lucky to have held their man advantages there, but This is just Cyclops constantly trying to get these peaks happening. Guts not really able to capitalize, but look, they have a solid man advantage. They're giving themselves some great time. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is going to be a tough round for Cyclops to hold on to, but it's still doable.
Doable is in the realms of possibility, achievable. Whatever you want to say. Oh my goodness, see you later, Crazy Papillon. JJ with a quick trade though. 10 seconds left, no C4s in hand. They're going to have to try swing this. Love that from Suzu, but Black Ray, what can he get done? It's a 1 versus 2. Pushing in, if he can find the Ash, it may be doable, but no, Guts. They managed to lock it down. It was close, but no cigar for Cyclops. And it's 1 apiece now.
Yeah, good stuff from Guts. Most importantly for me, just seeing them shut down some of these really aggressive plays that Cyclops were trying. Anderson in particular up on the top floor in Piano, and then Gatterado with the cap can trying to float between 3rd and 2nd floor. Really, really key for Guts to be in a position to win that. You have to say with that execute too, think about if they didn't have the 2-man buffer for that man advantage, it would have been a lot sketchier.
Yep.
So, look, good stuff from them. I think that's just what is going to be their pass mark for the half, is to continue just to punish Cyclops if they're trying to get really aggressive. And they are isolated players.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So as we move through, you said that the big question is going to be what happens when they don't have that kind of advantage. What's going to happen when they don't have the opportunity to trade out so effectively? And even to that point, effective probably isn't the word that I would fully use, even though they were able to trade 1 for 1. Had that, like you said, not have been the advantage, that would have gone completely differently. And so we'll wait and see whether that ever becomes a talking point for us in this match. But for now, Suzu's actually, come to light in the past 2 matches. That's not to say that that's surprising or shocking. I definitely want to make that clear, but has certainly been putting in the work for Cyclops.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to see Reading come out now. First attempt for Cyclops on defense. They've set up a lot of verticality for this. This is what you come to expect. A lot of teams will try and attack a crossbar, take cocktail, get the vertical control, and then you try and go for the reading plant. That's generally the most default. Now, Cyclops are very spread out. Gatterada is on this pulse getting the extra info, and we've seen Cyclops use the pulse very effectively on Chalet.
It certainly was. It was. I'm trying to think what round it was when I cast my mind back. I actually think it was round 5 on the bar defense, but I ended up going flawless because of it. And it can be so effective, like you're touching on, just to use that verticality. Gatterada will just be able to pass on so much information, and if they have that information, I mean, Guts stall out at the best of times, so the more that they can keep them at bay, the more they can keep them on this side of the map, the better it will be. As this top floor is definitely going to be the really heavy contention right now. That's an easy C4. My goodness, underneath Crazy Papillon, who gets caught watching Pixel, and now Gatterada will continue to give the information for Suzu.
Yeah, he's got a teammate there with him, ready to C4. They are totally ready for this scenario, and I fear for Lily's life. In fact, it's not even the C4 that ends him, it's Adderton on the roam from the bathroom. And just is looking like a rough round in particular for Guts.
Oh, I think that may have even been pre-prepped. Oh, hang on. JJ hasn't even spotted the player behind the bar. It's going to be a free kill. Hello? JJ is so confused. Yura will fall, but fortunately enough, there's at least a shining light. I wouldn't even call it a shining light at this point. It is a consolation prize for JJ. Some stat padding at the very least. Make that a double. But what a round from Cyclops. That's just so gnarly.
Look, it was just again that pulse was so key to them getting that upper hand in piano. Obviously the opening kill, and then just feeding the info for Anaton to be able to peek from Pixel. Look, incredible stuff from CYCLOPS on that one. Guts just had no chance, and a little all over the place. On top of that, it was Anaton on the vigil, I believe. No, sorry, it was Aegator just sitting up in the bar, like literally right behind the bar. 2 players right next to him. Just no idea from Guts. It was a messy round.
Certainly was. And maybe we can hold some hope for a little bit of a cleaner approach, but I guess, you know, doesn't need to be clean to win the game. You just need to win the rounds, and whether it's done cleanly or not is just completely irrelevant to the fact that CYCLOPS once more are looking the better of the two. It's only been 3 rounds in. You can't really read into that too much. But certainly something to highlight. Time will only tell, though, for Guts, whether they do have the response that we've been waiting for so long.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, look, they're still in an okay position right now. It's really just about them hanging in there and just producing some good team play, staying confident. I do believe that they can bring it back on defense, and there's just still some things that CYCLOPS are doing that is still unconvincing for me that they will just carry through. They're looking strong for sure, but again, Coastline was only 2 maps ago, and they lost 6 rounds in a row on their defense for that. It can't help but just, yeah, not be quite convinced yet by CYCLOPS' position.
That's always the issue. We will always refer to that, right, whenever talking about it, especially in this series and potentially series to come. Yura catching Suzu on a jump out. My goodness. Why am I not surprised? Why does that not surprise me?
The mirror player as well. I don't know. There's just so much about that it's just like, classic CYCLOPS. And so is that. Oh my god. The double C4 from Aegator. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, this is just... You know what? You can never say that it's not an entertaining game when CYCLOPS are playing. A run out that's failed. Double C4. And, I mean, it has actually put a bit of wind back into the side of CYCLOPS, who were looking a little bit flat in this round. In which case, you know, if we're talking about it, what is Black Ray doing? My word. Just swinging through piano. And it's the free engagement for Lily. Will never find an easier kill in his life.
Does even it out at least, so it puts Guts back in touch of the round. CYCLOPS is always giving Guts this inkling of a chance to be able to bring these rounds back. But less than a minute to go. You're up, pushing in through the cigar lounge. This is a lot better than the last time we saw them attack this site. You know, they've got some much deeper positioning right now, and it being a 3v3 with 40 seconds, this is certainly a real position for Guts.
Winnable. Not a long shot either. Yura finding the quick kill. How good's that from Anaton, though? A sharp trade that is very much needed and thanked by the side of CYCLOPS. They know his position, and Anaton needs to be cautious here. Lily will find the kill. And now Gatorada in a 1 versus 2 clutch. Spots Lily out. Could be the free kill. Knows exactly where the last player is. Just has to dance around the bar. The impact, because why not? 5 seconds left. Diffuser's not in hand. Lily, you are not going to be winning this one out. My goodness, it was still somewhat close, but Gatorada plays that phenomenally well. And Guts lose a great opportunity at keeping them at arm's reach.
Yeah, fantastic clutch there from CYCLOPS, so to speak. Gatorada just playing very patiently. But that felt like it was probably a round that got away from Guts there. I really felt like they could have held on to that. It was a winnable position at 3v3. They did a great job to make it the 2v1 just really not able to trade it out. Cyclops, props to them, honestly, to hold on to it.
Yep. Can definitely say thank you very much, Gatorada. Now, this is a Guts tactical timeout. In fact, this is eerily reminiscent of Chalet. Just to remind you, first round goes the way of Cyclops. Second round, Guts respond. Third and fourth round go the way of Guts. Go the way of Cyclops, and then Guts look for the tactical timeout. So this is literally verbatim right now what we saw from them on Chalet. Now, hopefully that storyline, that history will not repeat itself, because it just hasn't. I mean, it's nowhere near as unconvincing as Chalet, but there's still a lot of questions for the attack of Guts. And we said, Raven, really a 3-3 half would do them a world of good, but a 4-2 would be really hard to hold on to. Not out of the realm, though. They could still do that.
They definitely could. And look, they feel more in touch on this map than they did on Chalet. I think that's the biggest difference, is it feels like Guts have really had some opportunities with Cafe, so far at least. And I would not put it past them still being able to bring this back. But again, Cyclops they're doing what's needed to stay in front, but they're remaining unconvincing in terms of closing it out. Now, you want to talk about history. Kitchen Cooking was the round that was won by Guts. It's their only round win on attack. They did a great job with it. So if they can replicate that, at least, yeah, this will be their second round for the half, and that wouldn't be so bad.
And back, the pulse is on the roster of Cyclops, and I'm not going to continue to reiterate time and time again, but this pulse has been so impactful for Cyclops on Chalet and now repeating on Cafe. Both times Cyclops have brought the pulse, it has really disrupted Guts' movement. It's completely thrown them off, and maybe, just maybe, it could continue to inch them out in front. There's 4 C4s right now in Cyclops. Hadn't really noticed that one, but I mean, it doesn't sound crazy, right, when you know exactly what Cafe plays out like.
Does not sound crazy at all, and Gatorada, speaking of crazy, he has jumped out the piano window and just tried to run off the landing. Not crazy if you're talking about Cyclops, crazy if you're talking about any other team. But it's been traded. It's a 4 versus 4. Still a lot of round to play.
These teams are so enjoyable to watch, in all honesty. Gatorada giving us some incredible moments here on Cafe, and only with Cyclops. Now, Guts have found themselves in a little bit of an awkward situation now. 4v4. All 4 C4s remain in the hands of Cyclops. They still haven't dealt with the top floor control, let alone the second floor. It looks like JJ may not even be bothering with that. Potentially Guts still haven't got the firm read on this.
Potentially not. This is where it gets a bit dodgy. Poor Sledge is tasked with opening these vertical holes. 4 C4s waiting for him below. It's kind of the jaws of the defense utility. But so far, he's been able to evade it. Time really slipping away from Guts, though. They need to try and get something going from this vertical control to try and to put the pressure on. And here come all these C4s, Matic. One finally lands. Cyclops with the man advantage.
Yeah, blown to smithereens there. 2 C4s is what it took. In fact, they've attempted with 3. Light goes incredibly low. Guts, this does not look favorable whatsoever, but we've seen the fragging power of all 3 of these players on Guts. It is still a possibility. They've got to deal with the Banshee. They need to deal with these players. Gator just going to put them all in the crosshairs. See you later. It's Cyclops once more, steaming ahead in the first half. 4-1, and there's no signs of them slowing down.
No, really good round in the end from CYCLOPS, adapting to how Guts did try to attack in round 2 and did win. This is where I think it gets really important. Guts need this round. They need to get the 2-4 half just to give themselves a much more comfortable second half to manage on their defense. Going to a 5-1 deficit again would just be devastating for Guts. I mean, look, they've already done it on Coastline. I'm honestly sure that they could probably pull it back on Cafe, but it feels less likely to happen.
Yeah.
So I just think that's why it's so critical they get this one.
Yeah, no, without a
Attackers need to
doubt.
locate and defuse bombs.
4-2. 4-2 is the storyline. That is the must claim for Guts. It really is. I mean, unless they really have something special on their defensive side of Cafe, which, yeah, it is a chance that maybe they have some wizardry, that a rabbit in the hat that they can pull out of nowhere, but they definitely need that room to breathe. They need to be able to make a mistake on their defense and it not completely derail their progress. Because that first round, I mean, we've seen from CYCLOPS what happens when they bring that Monty. It has just been so impossible for CYCLOPS to deal with. And as far as I'm actually concerned, we've only seen Guts be able to convert 2 defensive rounds in 2 maps. So, not that convincing.
Well, that's a great little pull from you, Manic. Proud of you, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
But seriously, that is
map.
That is damning. That is really damning. It's not like Chalet or Coastline are, you know, that wouldn't be particularly abnormal, I guess, but at the end of the day, that's still very concerning. So, Guts, yeah, they just need to, I feel like they need to end the half with a bang, get some momentum, try and do better on defense. Yura is about to come face to face. Again, though, this Pulse, want to call it out. They are just getting so much info, and it's been working out so well for CAG.
Look at the time waste as well. I can't believe Gatorada's been able to get away there. It looked like Yura was in position. Well, eventually is, but it's Suzu on the receiving end. And wow, bang, Guts go, and it's actually Yura leading the charge. Gatorada, Anaton, Aya, Gator, they still have that top floor control. But with a minute 30 left for Guts to make their move, they just need to decide what their approach is going to be. And it still looks like they're stalling out on this top floor, trying to figure out whether it is that vertical control that they need for this reading site.
That they do. Oh my lord, Gatorada, what are you doing? Peeking the red hat. She's taken out JJ. He's given CYCLOPS another look back in the round. And to your point, the time. Around that minute mark, still no vertical control in through to reading obtained by Guts. CYCLOPS still have this vertical control, Manic.
The thing is, it's not, I mean, we've seen it done without vertical control, but there's a lot more that ends up being taken. I really like this from Anaton right now. If Aegator can stay alive for half a second longer, even injured, it may have been enough. However, Gatorada and Anaton now, they need to combine here. They haven't been able to drone out Gatorada. This is massive! Lines them all up, Gatorada! What on earth is that? You have dismantled Guts! What a sickening round! That is absolutely disgusting!
Wow, I am absolutely gobsmacked. Gatorada just... Oh, I'm lost for words. If that is just like he is just stamped on the grave of Guts. They were so close. That was their round. We talked about how they needed that. They needed some confidence, momentum going into half number 2. And that a 2-4 half, you know, it wouldn't be that bad for Guts. That was the round. They had started strong. Yura was on a 3K, I believe. Gatorada, oh my lord, he's just single-handedly probably the best play we've seen for the playoffs. Oh my gosh, I can't get over that.
Hands down, one of the nastiest plays we've ever seen. You know what? liken it to what we saw from Cutie from OCN, and then double the impressiveness of that. That is ridiculous. Not only does he find a 4-piece at the end of the round, it's an ace, and it's all one after another after another. I am absolutely gobsmacked. Wow. And I mean, like that's Raven, I'm going to say it, that's the game done. That is the game done. I don't care how good your defense is, Guts. That right there will demoralize you so... yeah, demoralized. Done.
I agree. Totally agree. I think the fact that Guts have already used their attack timeout, that was their last attack round for the half. We talked about the importance of it, just all of that stuff, and for it to happen to you like that, Gatorada did do him like that. He really did, and it's a tough one to overcome. On top of the fact that Cyclops back in this position, they're up 5-1 after the half break. They only need 2 rounds. But this time, instead of for just the map, it's also the series. Yeah. So serious pressure on Guts Gaming right now.
You'd almost say serious pressure.
I mean, you could say that, Matic, but I don't know whether it really should.
You really shouldn't. That should be illegal. Should definitely be banned from being on microphone. But just now for Guts, it just comes down to what they have, what they can show, what they can prove. Anitan once again on the Monty that has just been oh so dangerous, oh so lethal. I just don't see a way that Guts are going to be able to deal with this effectively. That's an interesting one. I don't really see the piano wall left unreinforced very often.
Yeah, me either. It's also allowed Anitan to be able to walk around pretty cleanly, but the counter here is there's a C4 below. Gator seems aware. Not sure whether Crazy Papillon is particularly aware, though. This is going to be very deadly for him. That's big, because that C4 could have been the end to Anitan. Yeah. Critical from Gator to get that one.
And now Lily is the only C4 that remains, unless Light is pre-prepped, unless it's in a position where Anitan will walk into it. It just feels like, once again, they've taken so much control. Mind you, there are only 2 drones left, and I'm pretty sure that's 2 drones including the Twitch drones, the shock drones. So, you know, going in relatively without any information. But just look at this from Anitan. Look at how much damage this Monty can do to you in terms of space. Oh my god, Cyclops are suffocating Guts. And all that remains... What? Oh no. Lily, 1 versus 4. Has to try and find something. Has to reclaim some kind of pride here. Because Cyclops are just putting on a show, Raven.
Look, that's a big round from Cyclops. They've stood up. They've secured themselves match point now. 6-1. And I think it's just evidence. Guts just looked maybe a little demoralized. We talked about it. Communication maybe a bit hectic. That's the only thing I can think of with that team kill. They were very spread out players. And there was no Cyclops player at all near JJ when he was TK'd by Lily. So it had to have either been miscommunication or just franticness. But at the end of the day, this is Cyclops absolutely storming towards a series win right now. They are on match point. They are safe by 5 rounds. It just it's feeling like the nail is on the coffin. Manic?
On the coffin, Raven, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's in the coffin. It's all but hammered in. We're just waiting for the final strike of Cyclops.
Attackers need to locate,
and it could well be in this in round 8. I mean, could you imagine? We were really singing the praises of Guts on Coastline. And now, oh how they have fallen on Chalet and now on Cafe. It is just not the greatest finish to what has been overall, you know, an impressive fight from them. And a relatively clean start to their APAC North campaign. So
5 seconds to insertion.
it's not done yet. I mean, it's very close to being done, but it's not done yet. The fat lady is not singing.
That's true. I mean, look, we felt like Coastline was done. I remember when that half switch happened, we felt like it was over.
Oh.
Gatorado just yeets to his death, trying to make something happen. Of course, Gatorado does something like that. He's just been such an enigma on this map, I tell you what. But Cyclops, you still, even with him sometimes having these early deaths, they've still been able to bring it back.
I mean, why is that just a thing? Gatorada, Amaru, literally playing like the Amaru. Here we go, Guts. They are looking to come back in this one. Black Ray not going to expect Crazy Papillon already on tier 1 of White Stairs. And this is what we needed to see. Maybe Cyclops have played a little bit into it, but regardless, it may well give Guts the the move. Oh my goodness, the ground to run. There we go, we got it out in the end. They may still have something in this game, but it just does not seem achievable. There is such a mountain to climb.
I'll have you know that round was over in about 55 seconds. Pretty, yes, okay from Cyclops. But look, I think this is something that Cyclops need to be careful of. I don't think they don't need to win in style, man. Just close it out, because stuff like this has happened in the past. And on top of that, thinking about Coastline again, you know, maybe they got a little complacent going onto the second half there. It's not a time for complacency. Lock in the series and move forward.
Well, that's the thing. It's, you know, it's not like, yes, they're up all these ridiculous amount of rounds. They have so much time to play with, but it really does come to the fact that, you know, we did see them fall to Kyra. Sorry, I'm joking there. It really does come down to the fact that we've already seen them drop to an underdog that they just shouldn't have. And here has been an excellent, I would say, underdog story. Now that has actually come to an end. Seventh Heaven have dealt them their final blow. But regardless, there are a lot of questions that are surrounding Cyclops, so you really want to just squash them as early as possible here. And you know what, Europe? You may as well. You may as well try to do something.
Oh
wow.
Man,
wow.
If that was any other operator, he actually would have got that. But what was so risky about that from Euro is, like, even when the window's not hit, 95% of the time, I'd say most players will pre-fire that. So he was really risking it. And I guess it is the time for Guts. You know, sometimes you got to pull out those high-risk plays. They got 4 rounds to make it up. Like, imagine if Anderton hadn't actually extended his shield. He might have fully domed. And oh my god, speaking of doming, Gator just got annihilated.
Oh, why is that a thing? That is hilarious. I guess you don't really have a lot of soft breaching potential on the side of Cyclops, so I guess Aya is almost needed in that scenario to open up the hatches. So that's a little wild, all things considered. And now, once more, Guts have the advantage. And look, yes, they're playing aggressive, but it is still giving them a look back into this game, which we just thought was done and dusted.
Might have caster cursed it, honestly. I don't know.
Don't.
It just reminds me of Coastline. Like, it feels like this game should be over, but Cyclops just not finishing it yet. And Black Ray is not going to finish off Lily, and this is, again, it just feels like another round that's going to be potentially in favor of Guts. But Anaton, he's still up on the Montaigne, and we know what kind of impact that's had.
Oh, okay, this is a little bit awkward.
Oh my god.
This is, okay, now I am actually starting to get a little bit worried. I know that sounds outrageous, but, you know, just things we don't really need to be seeing. As you said, this one should be in the books already, Raven. And now, Cyclops have given them an opportunity. Now, whether or not Guts are able to capitalize on that is another thing, but you would not want to see them continue this trend further into this lower bracket because, all right, let's just assume they manage to close this out, which they are going to, maybe. Seventh Heaven, and then either Fnatic or Knights, you're not really going to be afforded that kind of luxury against Knights and Knights or Fnatic, and certainly Seventh Heaven in their own rights will not allow you to do this. So just tidying things up for games to come is more so the issue that I have right now.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Absolutely. It's so risky letting any team start to get some momentum or confidence back. I mean, I'm not saying CYCLOPS are letting them, but you just need to close this stuff out. If Guts really feel that momentum, we saw what happened on Coastline. They rode that momentum straight to a map win. CYCLOPS just didn't get around once Guts were really feeling it. And look, I think they should be concerned about that on Cafe as well. It really does lean defender side. We talked about the percentage stat earlier. If Guts start to string these defenses together, yeah, look, it starts to totally be in the realm of possibility that Guts can bring this back and win the map and the series.
I love that Yura's gone for this again, and it is going to be... Oh, it may be Gatorada that walks into that line of sight. No, they're going to go a little bit more of a safer route, and to no avail, Yura will need to back away from this spawn peak, because as you said, it can get pre-fired, and still even now, it could well be pre-fired. CYCLOPS, though, they are kind of starting to bunch up in and around Bakery, so I dare say that they're going to use Anaton quite successfully here as the live droner for them.
And no pressure at all from Guts on the defense here in Bakery. CYCLOPS is going to instantly take control of that as Black Ray has destroyed Yura on the rotate back down White. And again, look at the aggressive position. That's Black Ray coming all the way up from the bottom of White stairs in that first 30 seconds to hold that rotate. That's a good job. CYCLOPS taking this early lead in the round.
Oh, they are dangerous. Was that Anaton? Is that a hip-firing Anaton? Why? Why is that a thing? That is...
Yeah, why not, Matic? Why not?
I guess it's actually kind of hilarious, the fact that we're even seeing it attempted. And, I mean, right now, CYCLOPS have set themselves up so nicely. Black Ray's found himself the double opening kill of the round. And Guts are left scrambling. I just do not see this being achievable. CYCLOPS, they bounce back here, Raven, but they still need to tidy it up.
That round's not over. It's still over a minute to go, and we've seen some pretty strange things happen in this series. So let's not count it yet, but Anaton, he is going deep on this Monty to get this info. Gatorada just denies JJ of any attempt, and this looks like it might be the series. It is on a flawless, in fact, Matic. CYCLOPS take the series and progress forward in the lower bracket of the APAC Playoffs.
They certainly do. It took them a couple rounds more than we would have liked, but they have certainly continued to run this gauntlet. And in saying so, you have to give credit to them. It did look kind of dire as we moved to Chalet, but boy, they were here to play. 2-7-3 victories back-to-back on Chalet, and now Cafe have secured their spot against 7th Heaven in the next rounds of the lower bracket.
I just basically want to re-acknowledge and pretend that nothing ever happened after Gatorada's ace clutch, because that was that felt like the match done for us there. He pulled off seriously one of the best players I've seen in a very long time in competitive Siege at this kind of level. Overall, look, let's recap it. CYCLOPS, a really good series. Look, they played quite well on Coastline, bundled the second half, but outside of that, a dominant final two maps.
Yeah, certainly was. I think that we're not going to take anything away from them at all in the end there. You know, they still get the job done. They still do it cleanly with 3 rounds left on the board. And it is one of those things. We look back now and we think, you know, what happened on map 1? What was it that was stalling them out so much? Because to be so dominant on Chalet and then to back it up on Cafe, there are just There are just a few little interesting tweaks that I think they'll need to make, especially as they continue to run this gauntlet. But of course, ladies and gents, that is going to do us here on the caster's desk. We're going to give it back to Dev and the gents to break down what we've just seen in the first matchup of Playday 2.